Hi, Tracy here with BibleJournalingMinistries.com, and in this video we are going to be working through Hosea chapter 6 verse 3 using our printable called Know the Lord. So if you're ready, let's go ahead and get started. I will be using the Hosea 6.3 Know the Lord kit that's available in our store this month, as well as in Momentum in your bonus files if you're a Momentum member. And we have a Hosea 6.3 on this. It says, "Then shall we know if we follow on to know the Lord? His going forth is prepared as the morning. And he shall come unto us as the rain, as the latter and former rain unto the earth." Hosea 6.3. We've got this girl kind of walking. We've got some really cute spring flowers that says, "Know the Lord, acknowledge him, let it rain, come to me." And we've got there's something on that one. We've got our washi and all of our coordinating elements. So this page is designed really for the smaller 2-inch margins. You also have some additional larger margins for the 3-inch Bibles, the 3 and 4-inch wide Bible margins, as well as you can use some of these on your Faith Dex cards and things like that. So these are additional elements that are included in the kit. And then we've got, again, larger elements for the bigger Bible pages as well as for planners. So hopefully you guys enjoy this printable. Now, we did release a very similar printable to this in our planner edition, and so in that edition there's a bunch of squares that look very similar to this girl, and some other kits that are very similar. If you're interested in kind of coordinating a Bible journaling page with your planner page, be sure to check out that planner kit. So we'll be using that printable, and I want to kind of do a minty background, so I have this kind of green, blue, medium, and some white that I'm going to use, and I'm going to use my gel plate, my gel press plate. I haven't used it in forever, so I thought it'd be kind of fun just to take it out and have a little fun in my Bible today. So let's go ahead and protect our work surface. I'm just using a baking mat to cover my work surface, and if you don't have a baking mat and you're interested in getting one, we will include our Amazon store link here for you, and you can shop there and support our ministry at the same time. Thank you so much for your support. That does really help. So, and this is a cut up baking mat. I'm just going to place that underneath this page here. And I'm going to read the verse to you. We're in Hosea chapter 6 verse 3, but I'm actually going to read at the beginning of chapter 6 where it says Israel basically is being unrepentant. It says, oh, and I should tell you what Bible I'm using, right? Everyone always asks that. This is the Holy Bible, God is within her, she will not fail edition. It's really a pretty Bible. Again, we will include the link. It's an NIV Journal, the Word Bible, but this is a special, one of their special artisan Bibles, and I will make sure that you can get a chance to take a peek at that in our store if you're interested in it. It's just, it is one of the prettiest Bibles I own, to be honest with you. I just love it. So we are in chapter 6 verse 3. I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, "Come, let us return to the Lord. He has torn us to pieces, but he will heal us." I love that. I'm going to underline that even though we're not in that verse. I just love that. "He has injured us, but he will bind up our wounds. After 2 days he will revive us. On the 3rd day he will restore us." Sounds pretty familiar, right? If you're familiar with Jesus, that is I don't know if that's a reference or not. Actually, if I open up my study Bible, because I do have a study Bible, I don't always share with you that I do have a study Bible that I do use whenever I'm doing Bible journaling. This is my Zondervan study Bible here. It's an excellent version of the study Bible. I just love it. And when I look, as I'm going through this and I'm looking at this, when I first read this, I think, oh, they're talking about Jesus. But then I go to my study Bible, and it says, chapter 6, verse 2, "On the 3rd day." This wording does not suggest that Hosea was trying specifically to describe Christ's resurrection after 3 days. It is an idiomatic expression for God's readiness and eagerness to show mercy to those who ask for it. Nevertheless, New Testament statements that Jesus was resurrected on the 3rd day, that's in Luke 24:46 and 1 Corinthians 15:4, may have this wording in mind, since a close connection exists between Jesus the Messiah and his people, his body. So a 3-day process for Israel's resurrection, from being torn to pieces to being able to live in God's presence, is a fitting model for the resurrection of Jesus. Jesus himself made the connection of his resurrection on the 3rd day to the story of Jonah in Matthew 12:40. So that is what they say about that. I immediately, anytime I see something like this, I think about Jesus. So that's why it's important to have a study guide whenever you're doing your Bible journaling. And I do recommend the NIV study, Zondervan study guide. I really do love that one. It's my favorite. It says, verse 3, and that's for today. That's the verse we're working on. Let us acknowledge the Lord. Let us press on to acknowledge him. As surely as the sun rises, he will appear. He will come to us like the winter rains, like the spring rains that water the earth. Ah, I love that. It's so nice. It's just, oh, come Jesus. Come, Lord Jesus. So to use a gel press, let me just kind of show you. For those of you who are not familiar with the gel press, it is just basically a piece of gel. Like it's a jelly mat. Literally, I'm going to open it right now. Oh, it's a little bit dirty. It's okay. One place, endless possibilities. Recommendations for the 5x7 plate. So this is a 5x7 plate. You can make pretty note cards out of it. You can do a lot of different things with it. But I am going to Bible journal with it. And apparently, when I stored it last, I did not clean that side, which is really not common. I usually do clean mine, so I'm not sure. I don't know if I got interrupted or what, but no excuse. I really should clean it. So let me just take a moment here to wipe it down. And I usually have, I'm looking around real quickly for, actually I'll use this side for now, and I'll come clean it in a minute. But I was looking around for a baby wipe that I could use. Anyways, just like me to turn on the camera and realize that my gel press plate was not clean. Anyways, no big deal. So with the gel press plate, you don't have to add a lot of paint. Just a little bit is fine. Just going to add a little bit. That is actually probably a little too much, but that's okay. And then all I do is I just come in here and I just kind of move the paint around on this plate, and then I can come in here with this white and pick that up as well, and just kind of put a little bit here and there. And I don't need a lot of it. And you can actually do the whole thing if you want to. It just depends. You can also make marks in this if you want. You can use basically anything to make marks. I'm actually looking for, right now, a piece of paper that I can use. Let me just grab my planner here and add some color. I don't like to waste any of this, and I just think it's kind of fun to have a little bit of color on other pages. So I can make a little bit of paint down here and put it up here, and now I have it in my planner, and I can come in here and do some decorating later. So for June, apparently, maybe if I have some extra stickers, I'll come in here and do that. Alright, so now that I have it down, if you want to come in and do any kind of design, you can. You just use a pencil. I don't want to. I really like just laying it down. And I'm actually going to try to get it so it does not go over on this side. And the way I can do that is I can just simply grab a piece of paper, or I'll just grab the printable other piece of paper here. And I could get a piece of washi tape and cover this up if I wanted to. So like if I wanted to maybe tape this down so it doesn't move or have it exactly in a certain position, I could put some washi tape down. But I'm not going to, because it's not that important for me. I never worry about like exact preciseness. So then you can take your plate, just grab it wherever you want to, and just place it down wherever you want to place it. There we go. I got a little bit of paint on my fingers, so let me just kind of wipe that off before I get it everywhere. And now I've got it placed down, and now I can just take up that gel plate, and then I will make sure I clean it this time. Good grief, right? And since I covered that space, now I have no paint on the Bible page. It's all good. Not that I mind. I actually I don't have a problem with paint on the Bible page. I love to do that. I just don't often do it. It's just kind of natural for me not to do it as much. I'm actually going to add a little bit more. I'm trying to do it without grabbing there we go. Kind of thought it would be cool. Let me grab this piece of paper again. As I was looking at this, I might want to add just a little bit of paint up here. So, and I think I have some extra that I could just pull off this gel plate. So again, I'll just grab it here and I'll place it down right here and get some of that paint kind of to transfer from that gel plate to the page. It's a little bit too wet now, a little bit too dry. But let me see if I can grab some of that right here at least. There. Now if I really want to pull this up, all I have to do is add just a little more paint. So let's just grab a little bit of paint here, just so I can show you. For those of you guys who haven't used a jelly plate before, I want to make sure you have some information so that you can go out and if you get one, you'll know how to use it. I'm just adding a little bit of paint to kind of help lift that paint that was already on there. And I'm covering it where I don't want it to go. Take my mat here and my gel press plate here, and I'm just going to put it down there. There. And now I have some as well. And I can take my finger here and just see if I can't lift up any of that paint while it's still wet. Nope. So Hosea is going to be covered a little bit, but that's okay. I'm not worried about that. Of course, you can continue to do the same thing. Let's say you wanted to come over here and add some jelly plate in gel press. Here I could do that. I could put some paint there. That was from here. You just got to be a little more careful than I'm being, but that's okay. Just kind of, I'll incorporate that in somehow later. Do I want to do anything here? Another thing you can do, I have smaller jelly plates as well. So maybe I can use some of those. Let's see. I could just do a little more of it here. Kind of just, I don't know. Let's just give it a shot. Why not? What else are we doing? And I'm just playing with the jelly plate right now and thinking about the Bible verse. Let's do this. Just a little bit. These little mini ones, I'm sure you can still get them. If you can still get them, I will link up for you. But I purchased these a long time ago. I really don't use them as much because I already have the bigger ones that I use for my art, my Bible journaling, so I don't really find the need to use these little ones. Yeah, let's do this. I think that's dry. The only reason why I was worried that it was dry was because I want to still use these stickers. So next time, be prepared and have an extra piece of paper that you're willing to use. Okay, that looks good. I'll come over here and use this one. And you can come in here and just paint. I mean, you can literally just come in here with a piece of a paintbrush. That would be totally fine. Actually, it might even be better than what I'm doing. Let's give that a try for a bit. I'll just throw some paint down. Grab a paintbrush. This is just a Dina Wakley paintbrush, no big deal. So if you don't have a gel press, just mix two colors together. And then you can come in here and paint the other side of the page, and you won't have to need all those little tiny gel plates that I was just trying to show you about to use. It does create a different, when you're doing things by hand instead of using the gel press, I don't tend to get the same kind of effect but that's okay. Can try to mimic it as best I can. So that is that side, and looks good so far, so I'm excited. Now this is already dry, so I can start placing my Bible journaling elements here that come in the kit. Now whenever I print my Bible journaling elements, I print them directly from home. I print them on sticker paper, and then either I cut them out with my scissors. You can use a gyro cutter as well. I use a gyro cutter whenever I am traveling, or if I just don't want to get out my Silhouette machine, or Cricut would work, or a Brother machine. Any of those fancy cutters you can use, or you just cut them out with scissors. A lot of people do it. I think that's just fine, and I actually do it that way as well. So I will come in here. I just want to grab this. I love the purple here against that green. I'll come in here as well with this one. I think I've got a little bit of a tiny washi tape. Did it cut it out? It may not have cut that out. Let's see. Sometimes the machines don't necessarily do what you want them to do. Then you have to cut things out by hand. It happens. Here's my tiny purple piece that I think is really cool. I'm just going to place that there like so. I could do it exactly on there. Don't worry too much about whether or not I get things precise or not. It's not a big deal for me. If it's down precisely, great. If not, I usually don't worry about it. I'm going to do this one as well. I think I want to cut it up a little bit. So let me grab my scissors. Do you Bible journal with me? I'm curious if you are Bible journaling with me in these videos, or do you just watch and then do yours later? This is a bit bigger than I was thinking it was, so I can just cut it right there. Here we go. I can always just cut around this cute little flower with my scissors, and I can place that down. I like to use sticker paper over, let's say, computer paper. Computer paper is fine. You can totally use it. Use it with a glue stick. It's totally fine. I just prefer sticker paper. It just eliminates the step of getting a glue stick out for me. Alright, now I want to use the Hosea 6:3 tab here. I'll place the tab down. It'd be really cool if I can figure out if I could get this piece of... Can I get this out, or do I have to cut it? I'm going to have to cut it. It'd be really cool if I could cut it really well enough. Let's see if I can cut it well enough to use this piece. Because I think it'd be really cool to have that kind of outlined. It's nice when you have the machines because they cut them pretty accurately. When I'm using my hand, it doesn't always necessarily work out. Okay. Alright, let's see if I can get this to pull up now. There we go. There. I just kind of like the idea of this being kind of framed up a little bit. Alright. Slowly placing it down. Yeah, good enough. Super cute. Then I can add my tab here. A little tabby tab. Fold that over. That sticker grabs some of the paint off my fingers, which is cool. It's less cleanup for me if it's on the sticker and not my fingers. Now, do I want to use... She would be really cool. Ooh, she would be really cool. Let me do this. It's important to know the Lord. And I love this one here. Boy, this is giving me a little bit of a hard time. I don't know if my machine just didn't cut it out right. So there's the negatives, right? There's always positives and negatives, and sometimes the negatives are the machine doesn't cut it right. And you gotta try to figure it out. There we go. Whew. Didn't know if we were gonna get that one. Know the Lord and acknowledge Him. So important. Tell you what, I'm having all kinds of hard time with this. Let's do this. Sometimes if I'm having a really hard time with getting the sticker paper to come up, sometimes I just take all the white part. Ooh, you know, this is just a real sticky piece of paper, I think. And I just kind of pull it up like that. And that does typically help me with the rest of it. There we go. Should be a little bit easier to pull them up now that I've taken off all the edges. There we go. Whew. Extra work today, huh? Let us acknowledge the Lord. Let us press on to acknowledge Him. As surely the sun rises, He will appear. He will come to us like the winter rains, like the spring rains that water the earth. It's interesting if you think about, you know, the verse previously where we were reading. Boy, there we go. Oh goodness. Okay. We should always acknowledge the Lord, even in our difficult times. I don't know how you're doing if you're going through a difficult time. I know as I'm recording this, it's pretty difficult here in the United States and in other areas. But the good news is that He will come. He will come again. Things will get better. I am confident. And at the end of the day, things will definitely be better in heaven. We can all look forward to that. I want to get this butterfly off, but like I say, what happened, I think, is my cutter cut a little bit deeper. So I'm having a hard time picking these up with my hands. And I want to do one more over here. And I just want to say, let it rain. No, do I want to say let it rain? Yeah, that was the first one that called to me. So when you guys have trouble with if you have a machine like mine, I wonder if you've ever had this happen where your machine maybe cut a little bit deep. Do you have sometimes a problem with getting up the stickers? And I know I must have to adjust my blade a little bit. Sometimes if you have to adjust the blade after a while, if the blade might be getting dull, or of course this wouldn't be a dull blade. This isn't me just not cutting it out right. That's just a fault on my own. Oh, that's really cool. I like that. I'm going to take a little bit of time and do a little bit of writing. I'm going to fast forward through this part and I'll be right back. Okay, I just finished writing this here where I just said, Lord, you are my healer. You will never leave me. I acknowledge you and praise your name. I have confidence that you will come like rain. And I wanted to let you know that anytime you're writing on a painted surface, the paint should be dry. Mine is dry. But when you write, sometimes you do pick up particulate onto your nib. And so what I like to do is I just kind of take a piece of rag And I just take my nib and I just kind of wipe it off a little bit just to make sure there's no particulate on there. And I really haven't had problems with my pens. These are old pens. I've been using them for years, and they still have ink in them, but I think one day they will run out of ink. All I do now is I just come in and I can just add like little dots, little doodles as I'm just thinking about the verse. And I find that to be very nice and helpful to me, to just spend time thinking about the verse and thinking about how God is my healer, and I can trust and have confidence that He will come. And I know that anytime I'm going through difficult situations, that He will make them, He will redeem them. I'm 100% sure. And if it's not in my time, it will be in His perfect time. And I just have to trust Him. And I am. So I like this. I think I've done really good with this. I really enjoyed this. Let me just take my nib and wipe this off. And here is the final. Let me zoom in for you so you can see. Oop, that's zooming out. Let me zoom in so you can see. And I hope that this really encouraged you. And definitely subscribe and like to our channel. And you have a wonderful day. Goodbye.